What up, what up? This is Coach Liebs, and welcome to episode 41 of Coach Talk, and it is game week. Finally, it felt like forever, coming off the bye week. Obviously, it was a blessing, and it was great for us as a team that we earned a first-round bye, and I think it was very necessary. I think the kids and the coaches came in energized, we came in focused and hungry to kind of attack this week. But boy, I'll tell you, I mean, a week off after not having more than 2 days off, since June. We haven't taken more than 2 days off since June, and now all of a sudden, you get a whole week where you're not playing a game. It felt like a long time away, and it was definitely a great refresher for us. But it's on to game week. Everything is at stake now, and kind of like I touched on last week. Really, the mindset for us is kind of like perfection, because we got to realize now that come playoff time, this is no longer a work in progress. This is no longer a, hey, we just got to be playing our best football at the end of the year type of situation. Like, here's the end of the year. Now we got to be playing our best football, and any one mistake could cost us the whole season. It's not the difference between going 6-3 and 5-4. It's a difference between having life tomorrow or not having life, and continuing this season or not. Now, we're kind of in an interesting situation. The funny thing about kids, about coaching high school kids, college kids, is you can't trick them, right? So we're playing a team, Delbarton, that I think everybody in the program, we feel as though we're better than. We're better coached. We're more talented. There's a stronger tradition at Bosco. Traditionally, Bosco's always beaten up on Delbarton. And you can't hide that from the kids. Like, they know that. They expect to win. They know most of the kids on that team. Like, they expect to win this game. But so as a coach, though, that becomes interesting, because I don't think you want to just, act like that dynamic doesn't exist, because the kids are just going to talk about it in the locker room anyway and talk about how they should smoke these guys. So I think for me personally, I would rather control the narrative than just let them kind of, get kind of complacent. What I've done in my past is, whenever I'm going into a game where, I feel like we are more talented and we should beat the opponent, I try to kind of create like a little controversy within the wide receiver room. And I think this is, it's probably pretty necessary for this team. We played West Orange, who was a public school that we beat by 40. And we played Pope John, who's a team we beat by 40 again. Both those weeks going into the games, I didn't think that we were, at our best. We were incredibly focused. It's just natural to be a little bit more lax when you feel like you're playing an opponent you should beat. So what I try to do during those weeks, and what I did, last year at Wesleyan, there's a great story of this, was I try to create some controversy. So last year we were 6-2, I think, going into week 9, or 5-2 at this point, and we were playing Williams at home for homecoming. And this is a team that we had beaten 59-14 the year before. We smoked them. It's a big rival of ours. And this year, I think this last year, we were going to the game with the same record, but we still felt like we should beat them pretty handily. We were much better than them. For the receivers and quarterbacks, we were on our way to breaking every league record, and had a great year. So I really kind of like attacked my guys and came into that week just pissed off the whole week, talking about how they're getting complacent, and they're not competing to the expectations that we set before the season, and really came at each of them personally, calling them soft, telling them that they think they've arrived and they're not, finishing this season and living up to everything that we kind of set as the goals for this unit. And it kind of hit them by surprise. They were like, where is this even coming from, Coach? We just won a game 24-0. We're playing well. Like, why are you? And I was on them all week. Every single drill, every rep. They lost a one-on-one rep, I would embarrass them in front of everyone and scream at them. And I just really tried to like create something that would make them uncomfortable and light a fire under their ass and piss them off. And it did. They hated me all week. They were pissed off at me all week. Didn't want to usually we hang out on the field after practice and we're doing extra ball drills. They wanted no part of me, because I was just riding them every day in practice and trying to get more out of them. It wasn't necessarily fun. It was controversial at the time, but we ended up winning that game 35-0, and the receivers played great. And I think that was I think that just helped. It helped to break up the monotony. You're through week 9 of the season, week 8 of the season, helped to break up any complacency, because, they're watching the film too, and they can see a corner who stinks. They can see a secondary that they don't really respect very much, and they're going to be confident, and that at times can breed complacency. So as a coach, for me, going back full circle, you try to kind of control that narrative. And, I guess with this team now with Bosco, I don't really feel like we need to do that this week. I think the West Orange week, I could have done a better job of that. Pope John week, I could have done a better job of kind of stirring the pot a little bit and getting them going. I don't think we need that this week. I think the kids really, they're refreshed and hungry because we had a week off. We only practiced 3 days last week and really recovered. But I think that they are growing up. I think we had such a young football team this year with so many sophomores who now were juniors this year, starting for the first time. And now I think they're finally growing up. And it being playoff time, they realize what's at stake. They've realized that they're buying into the mantra that we have to be perfect, that one crucial mistake could cost us the season. And I don't think there's any need for extra motivation. They seem to be incredibly focused, incredibly just bought in and energized every day since we've started going full tilt Sunday, Monday. The kids have been great. So I think it's an interesting situation because they have acknowledged to me that they feel like they should beat this team, and these guys, we're better than these guys, and it's the truth. I feel that way as well. But we have to make sure that we're not rushing to go play this game, and we're taking care of our business day in and day out, having the best drill we can, the best team period we can. This has got to be the best route I can run, and just let that build throughout the week, and then we'll get to Saturday, we'll get to Friday night, and we'll be ready to go, and all of our work will pay off. So that's kind of the message. I think it's interesting to watch the kids mature. It's been interesting to see how much more maturity was required. At Bosco, dealing with a bunch of 17-year-old kids who haven't played a lot of varsity football versus most of my coaching experience coaching in college. When kind of like I've touched on before, when you get to college, every kid who's playing college football, I don't care where you are, I don't care if you're at Wesleyan or you're at Rutgers, if you're good enough to play college football, you were one of the best players on your high school team. So when you get these kids in college, you have a bunch of guys who, even if they're young freshmen, they still have a certain level of understanding of how to prepare for a game, how to get themselves ready, how to get the most out of themselves, how to work at a level that has earned them the right to become college football players. In high school, these kids don't have that yet. Even though we have so much talent in this junior class, so many of these kids weren't maximizing their talent because they weren't mature enough to know how to prepare for a game, how to study film, how to come into practice focused every single day, what it even means to be focused. Kids think that they're focused, but they're laughing and goofing off and talking and doing all this stuff. And then you go ask them about it, like, no, I wasn't talking. And they truly don't think they work because they don't realize the level of professionalism that's needed to become a great football player and become a great football coach or whatever it is. I mean, this game, there's so many complexities to this game. There's so many moving parts. And I think the reason why football coaches and football people love football so much is because it's truly a team sport where, in basketball, like basketball is my favorite sport to watch personally, which I don't know if I'm allowed to say that considering I run a football page, but I love watching basketball, but in basketball, one player can win a game or keep a player in a game. Like, if you're the New England Patriots, no matter how good Tom Brady is, all it takes is the left tackle to miss a block, and it doesn't matter how good his arm is, he's not going to be able to make the throw if he gets sacked. All it takes is one receiver to slip on a route. Like, there's so many moving parts in football that have to work in harmony to in order to achieve success. I think that's what makes the game so great, and that's what all these kids are starting to learn. But it's difficult at first. You think you can, you're a talented kid, you can come in and just go through the motions and it'll work out for you, and that's not the case. You have to be diligent about preparing the right way every day and not losing focus, and consistency is one of the greatest, the hardest traits for a kid, I think, to learn, but also one that will help him the most, more so than almost anything else. They say availability is a player's greatest ability, meaning that you're not hurt, but also consistency can be a player's greatest ability. The ability to come in every single day locked in with the same attitude, the same mentality, and the same work ethic, and continuing to raise that to a higher level. So that's all I got. Reminder, if you guys are buying tickets for anything, go to SeatGeek, start a new account, type in the code Sideline Hustle, and you'll get $20 off. It's as simple as that. So if you want to go, if you're going to buy tickets for a concert, a game, whatever it is, go to SeatGeek. It's got to be your first purchase, so it's got to be a new account. Use the code Sideline Hustle, all one word, and you'll get $20 off. And hopefully that helps you guys out. So that's all I got. Episode 41 of Coach Talk. About to head up to practice on this rainy day. This is Coach Liebs. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.